In the hobby of collecting music cards, like any other segment of the card collecting hobby, there are holy grails. Cards that are so special and so rare that finding one makes that moment one of those defining moments in your collecting experience. Here is one of my most recent holy grail moments. Before I get ahead of myself, my name is Reed, and I've been collecting rare music cards for over 30 years. I searched the globe for hard-to-find music cards, both vintage and not so vintage, to add to my always growing collection. I don't consider myself an expert at any of this. I'm just a guy with a camera enjoying this crazy hobby. Feel free to come along every Sunday where I'll post a new video showing my inside look at how I go about growing my collection. Welcome to collecting music cards. A few months ago, I received a tip that a small lot of 10 vintage rock music magazines from the UK had become available. Raw Music Magazine was a rock music magazine that ran from August 1988 to March of 1996 and was considered one of the top rock music magazines ever made. In that lot of 10 magazines was a 1992 edition which still contained the highly coveted 1992 first-year cards of both Nirvana and Pearl Jam. The owner of these magazines, his name is Paul, was looking for a buyer that would truly appreciate the magazines because they had special meaning to him. Paul explained to me that his sister, Maura Sutton, who was a writer and contributor from the very beginning of Raw Magazine, had passed away a little over a year earlier. And these magazines were part of her private collection from when she worked at Raw. Once I found that out, the magazines immediately had more meaning to me as well. Maura Sutton was not only a writer and contributor for Raw Magazine, she was also a writer and contributor for Kerrang! Magazine prior, who along with a handful of other writers and contributors worked at Kerrang! Under the byline of RAW, which was the acronym for Rock Alive Worldwide. Over a short period of time, one thing led to another, and I was able to put together a deal with Paul for the 10 magazine lot, and he shipped them off to me. Not knowing too much about the condition of them, you could consider this somewhat of a blind purchase for me. Here's our first look. Maura Sutton passed away about a year ago. And here's a note from her brother. As requested, I can confirm that these magazines are part of the personal collection of my late sister Maura Sutton, who is a writer for Raw Magazine from its beginning. You will find her name listed in the magazines as a contributor. Maura unfortunately passed away in December 2024, and I wanted her vast collection of memorabilia to go to people who really appreciate it. With very best wishes, Paul Sutton. Oh, that's very nice. In here are a couple of magazines especially that I'm very excited to get. This one he mentioned to me had some coasters on it, or they call them beer mats. And I'll take a look at those when I get a chance here. I'm looking for two magazines in particular. That's one of them right there. And let's see. Where is the other one? There it is. These are the holy grails right there. I'm going to move these aside, and I'll look forward to looking through those. Okay, so we've got the magazines here, and we'll take a quick look at them. This one right here, you can see the cards are on the back, and there's one on the front. There's 9 on the back here, and there's one on the front. It is perforated. So if you fold it over and then separate it, it should have a clean edge on it. You can see that there's some great ones on here. Iron Maiden, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer. These are really cool. And some of these are very early cards of these bands. And you can see on these are the face of the card, and then these are the backs of the cards right here. You can feel that perforation in there. So that is what this one looks like here. And then this one, which was my main interest in this purchase, is where you're going to find a couple of holy grails here. Here's the Nirvana card, and here's the Pearl Jam card. Now, there's 9 cards back here. Obviously, there's also Metallica, Extreme Poison, Queensryche, Sepultura, Black Crowes, and Skid Row. But the reason I went in this direction as far as tracking this down and buying this was because of the Nirvana and the Pearl Jam cards, which are very rare and very, very tough to find. In these magazines, I'll show you a little bit as far as how it ties in with Maura Sutton. Not only are these part of her personal collection, like I mentioned before, but if you look in the back of the magazine, you'll see, for instance, back here is just a little area, and it's called the Seen, Heard, and Dumped area. And what they do is every issue of this magazine, the contributors of the magazine would put in there what they had seen, heard, and dumped during the time of putting this particular magazine together. Under Maura Sutton, what it says, seen Kiss at Wembley. Well, Kiss appeared May 21st of 1992 at Wembley, which was a couple weeks before this magazine actually came out, which would put it at perfect timing to where that's what she saw while they were putting this magazine together. That's what she's seen, heard, Dream Theater's Images and Words LP, and dumped Missing Kiss on MTV. And I believe what dump means is what they didn't like during that time. So each of the contributors would put something like that in. And then in the masthead up here, that's kind of like, let me find that first. The masthead is kind of like the calling card of a magazine. It's where they put the title of the magazine, the issue number, information on how to contact their advertising department. They list all their contributors, they list their editor, and all that kind of information. Under the contributors, they actually put each one in there. And in this magazine, in Raw magazine, they always did it with a nickname, a different nickname every time. And let me put my glasses on here real quick. And let's see. Under Maura Sutton's nickname here, what they did is they called her Square Bashing Sutton in this particular issue, and then it would have been something different in every other issue. So just a couple of fun facts about the magazine itself. The magazine itself, if you want to order a couple of these, you'll have to get them overseas from the UK typically. That's where they are, and because that's where they came out. But these are actually really good to read and a lot of fun to look through, along with Kerrang! Magazine as well. And you can find stuff from back in the day. It's just a really fun read to look through a lot of this stuff. So that's where the cards are here. I'm really excited about these, and I'm glad you got to take a look at them with me. There we go.